Days, it's a big challenge. Sydney, they've been a pretty informed team this season.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. They've had some really good form this year. They play the game in a really challenging way, an exciting brand, and yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge of travelling over there and competing against a really quality opposition. We just want to get better every week, and Sydney will present, plenty of challenges to keep working on some of our things.
Have some of the girls been presented with, I guess, the challenge of taking on the likes of Chloe Malloy and maybe Zippy Fish, obviously a bit closer to home?
Yeah, they've got some good players. I think they play a really team system, but naturally some talent within that, and Chloe's one of them. Obviously out of the side last week with a bit of an injury by the looks of things, but we expect that she'll come back in and we'll get them at their best, so we're preparing for her. And then Zippy, yeah, she's had an incredible season as a first year player and is so important to the way that they move the ball. So yeah, they've both been on our whiteboard this week, as have a number of their players. But we know the most important thing is that we play our way. The reason why we've gone after what we have in our game style is because we think it'll stand up against any team. So we always have a look at the opposition, but 80-90% of what we focus on is us and improving every opportunity we get.
Is there a particular aspect of your game plan that you think it'll be make or break this weekend?
Yeah, I think our contest work, being really committed in a contest, and then our team defence is really important, and that doesn't change because of Sydney. It's been a focus all year and been a part of how we've built the foundations of the way we want to play, and yeah, it'll be really important this week. Are
there any specific things you're looking at with Sydney though, like any particular areas? Yeah,
well, they're really challenging offensively. I mean, they're a strong team in both the areas I mentioned that we look at, but offensively they're quite aggressive, so it'll test those two things out. But yeah, we want to defend really well and then test them out going back the other way.
Mick, 75 games for Emma Swanson as well. I think, does she become the most capped Eagle potentially, or first one to do that?
Yeah, I think so.
To maybe favourite sort of memory or thought about Swanee?
Oh, favourite memory. I've got lots of good memories with Swanee, but I think the best quality about her is just her authenticity and how she tells it how it is. And what you see is what you get with Swanee. She wears her heart on her sleeve, and she's a big driver in the way that she leads this club and has through her captaincy and still continues to this year, and her professionalism. But yeah, no, she's just a good egg, Swanee, and yeah, I really love having her on my team, that's for sure.
How does the lure of the potential of a maiden finals berth, motivate the club? It sort of feels as though you've been playing with a bit of finals intensity over the last couple of games anyway.
Oh yeah, I guess everyone has the goal of playing finals, and we just know our process. If we play to our process, it's going to hopefully result in that. But yeah, there's also not going to shy away from the excitement and the motivation of playing finals. And yeah, I think if we just keep playing our way as we did last week, it'll put us in good stead.
It's probably, it's the first time that I guess West Coast have really been in contention for finals. How is that sort of dynamic in the group? Is it excitement? Is it pressure? How are you feeling about it?
I think it's excitement. I think we all want to play finals, and I think that really does motivate us as a group. We're all very hard workers, and I think we know that if we just play to our strengths, and whether that being individual strengths or team strengths, that's what's going to get us there. But yeah, it's definitely a motivator to be the first Eagles team to play finals. But yeah, if we just stick to our process, we'll hopefully see it get us there.
Daisy, do you lean into that the optimism of potentially making finals, and how do you sort of manage, I guess, that excitement about the possibility and the pressure that comes with the possibility? Yeah,
I think, we've been so focused on improving and just our progress within, and staying really present with how we go about that. I think, I hope we had most of the squad out there thinking about how we nail training today rather than Sydney and rather than Carlton or finals. So yeah, that's our focus, is how do we improve and what's our opportunity right now. But in terms of the pressure, what a great position to be in. I love that we're under pressure at this time in the year, because that means people have expectations of us, and that's exactly what we want. So yeah, we're not going to shy away from it. It's sort of like we're embracing it. It's a 12-week season. We get to play teams that are vying for a final spot as well. So we sort of haven't hidden from the fact that we're almost in finals now. Let's play the way that finals demand, and we'll either get there and be in really good stead and have great belief that we can compete against good teams, or we will have fallen short giving it our best crack and we go back to work. So it's kind of like, we've been pretty practical about it, and if we keep our focus on how do we play our best footy and how do we improve, I think that'll just look after itself.
Daisy, being on the road has been a bit of a challenge for the Eagles. I think you've only had one away win. How do you approach that this season?
We try and prepare as best we can this week. We're always looking at things like training loads and mental load and making little tweaks and adjustments to our weeks, not just for this trip, but for other ones as well. We did talk about it with the leadership group this week. Is there any changes we want to make in terms of our prep? Nothing major. We're always thinking about these things and trying to leave no stone unturned. But we feel like we're in a really strong position and we'll go over there striving to win.
And Mikayla, you've spoken in the past about players kind of liking having, say, 2 away games in a row, and that was sort of evidenced, I guess, by the fact that your one win away was St Kilda, which is the 2nd in a row, and the benefits of finding that, settling in. How do you, as a player leader within the team, fast track that settling in and approach that as a leader within the club yourself?
Having been in the list for a few years, you kind of see what works best for you. And personally, I just try to stay very footy focused as much as I can. You still have your time to rest where you can and switch off, and trying to find going for walks and stuff and just encouraging movement and time together, because it's a great opportunity for us as a team. We love going away, we love travelling, we love spending time together. So just another opportunity to spend that time together and just, help other girls find ways when we're switching on and focusing on footy, or when's a good time to switch off and really find that recharge before we get to play.
Daisy, obviously Ali Morford this weekend for Sydney. You've faced a couple of really good rucks already this season in terms of Matilda Schultz and Mim Strong. What can you take from those previous encounters against pretty good rucks in terms of this weekend against Morford, or does she require a slightly different approach?
No, she's certainly a challenge, but I think Liz McGrath's been a great addition to our list in terms of being able to combat those really mobile athletic types. She's an incredible worker. Her running numbers for a ruck are really strong, and it's helped bolster our ability to really compete with those types. So I thought she was great on return last week. She gave us some good drive out of our midfield against a strong Geelong midfield group. And, one of Ali's strengths is her ability to get around the ground and have the ball get played through her as a ruck. So, we think Liz gives us a real opportunity to go back against that, and she's been a great addition.
Gardner as well, running through midfield. Any chance you send Swanee to her after a performance against Geelong last week? Yeah,
there's a chance. Yep. There's a possibility. She wins a lot of the footy and is one of the ones that set up some of their outside runners as well. So we'll have a look at Gardner. They've got some other strong mids in there as well that we'll consider. The other thing that I loved about Swanee's game wasn't just the shutdown role that she played. I mean, we didn't invent Swanee as a midfielder last week. I feel like we've gotten way too much credit for that. She's a very good midfielder, and because she's selfless, she's played a role down back because we've needed some coverage down there. Given the strengths of our young midfield crop coming through, she's put her hand up and embraced that. Was I surprised that she went back into the midfield and had the game that she did? No, she's an absolute pro. So it won't be just on a tagging job that we'd send Swanee into our midfield. We think that she's an important cog in there, especially in Rowley's absence, that she can win a bit of the footy and get it going our way as well, like she did last week.
And you mentioned Chloe Malloy earlier. How much of defending her, if she plays, how much of it is limiting her one-on-one, but then also her ability to get her teammates involved? I think she's top 5 for goal assists this year. And then also further up ground, just cutting off the supply lines to her a bit. Yeah.
She has a massive impact, wherever she plays, and whether that's hitting the scoreboard herself or, with her creativity to set others up, like you said. But we'll have, someone put time into her and pick the right matchup for her, and then you're right, the pressure up the ground and how much of territory we can have the ball living in our half will only help. But I think that helped Wrenchy last week with Maloney, and a couple of the roles that we had on the dangerous Geelong forwards was how much heat we could have on the ball up the ground, and that more often than not it was going our way. It certainly helps.
Abigail Bushby is listed as a test. I think it was calf tightness. Is there an update on that?
Yeah, so she had modified training today as she was just trying to work through that. We haven't had match committee yet in a final update, but she got a bit of a cork in the game against Geelong last week. I think it was in the second quarter. She ended up playing through it in the third quarter, but we pulled her just conservatively in the last quarter of the game. So need to get a final update on it, but she'll just be a test to see whether she's available to play this weekend or needs a bit of a rest or a week off.
Daisy, just back on Swanee, so you obviously went from opposition with Swanee to now coaching her. Can you just give us a bit of a rundown on like what she's been like since you've taken over as coach here and what she brings to the team?
Yeah, well, she's just an incredible worker. Like, you have to convince her if you're trying to modify her loads or give a bit of a rest. Like, it's a tough job trying to talk her out of training. And that's what she was like as a player. Physical, hardworking, proud, the way that she's always put her teams on her back and been as resilient as she has been admirable. And yeah, to coach her, I think she's all those things. I think her game last week really signified the type of person and player Swanee is. Yes, coach, I'll do whatever you want. I'll give it my best. And her teammates sort of are inspired by the way that she goes about things. So, yeah, it was awesome to watch. And yeah, her 75th this week. It's been 75 pretty combative games that she's played, so it's impressive that she's gotten there.
Sydney's known for drawing a bit of a crowd, and they're obviously also in finals contention. How do you prepare for that?
Yeah, I can't wait. I think a few of our players have commented on the good atmosphere at Leederville last week, being Pride round and just the buzz around the game, big Friday night game. So they enjoyed that, and it sort of fueled a lot of them by the sounds of things. Westy can probably speak to it personally, but I think, Henson, it's such a great atmosphere. Sydney have done a great job of engaging their fans, and yeah, we look forward to playing in front of them.
How was it? I mean, the first time you tried to play at Leedy, that was a bit of a washout, so nice to get there, but also the potential come Carlton as well. So what was it like? Did you enjoy the experience?
Yeah, Leederville was great. We actually really enjoyed going to play there. Obviously had the derby there last year, and that had a really good crowd, and I think had our best crowd this year playing there. And I think it being Pride round as well just really created a really good energy and buzz that we could kind of thrive off. And then we got to play a really good game of footy. So yeah, we're looking forward to going back there next week.